In this video, we're going to be using Schapenmelk by Cold River Soapworks and the Gold Dollar 208 straight razor honed by Michael Shults. Stay tuned. Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And as mentioned before, today we're going to be using Schapenmelk by Cold River Soapworks, and this soap is kind of intended to be its own thing. You'll notice Cold River Soapworks isn't even on the label. This is meant to be sort of similar to Hasslinger or something like that. Just a daily driving, easygoing type of soap. It only comes in one scent. The price for this is $10.95 for 3 ounces. And on our cost chart there, that's $3.65 an ounce, which is a good price. The ingredients we'll put right there. It's got some good ingredients like sheep milk, shea, butter, lanolin. And again, this is meant to be easygoing daily driver type of soap. The scent on this is light. I would definitely call it light. And it's sort of a fougere, sort of greenish. Almost has a bar soap sort of vibe to it for me. Very pleasant, but nothing that's going to be too strong or in your face. Just pleasant, nice. Comes in this 3-ounce container. Ingredients on the back. And so not bad at all in terms of price. And we've made a good lather with it. We're going to be using today for the razor, the Gold Dollar 208, which was honed by Mike Shults. On this particular hone, he did Shapton 2 and 4K glass, and then he took it to the Japanese natural stones and used Naguras with various slurries. So we'll see how we like that today. And let's just get started. Let's go ahead and apply some moisture to the face. Did I show you the ingredients? If I didn't, I'll show them to you right there. If I did, I won't. Let's go ahead and wet the face. Standard 24 hours of growth today. A quick announcement while I'm sort of whipping up the lather here a little bit more. By the way, Captain's Choice Bowl. And the brush for today is Ever-Ready R40 Badger, sent to me by Dave from Augusta, my favorite Badger and only Badger that I own. I really like it. Anyway, I have posted a daily gear care video at the Razor Company's YouTube channel, which I will link below. And if I think about it, I'll drop a link in one of these corners up there. And it's basically how to care for your brush, soap, and your DE razor or SE razor. So check that out and give the Razor Company a sub if you like. They've really been helpful to many of us, and we appreciate them. And so I hope you'll give them a sub and check out the content on that channel. And I hope it's helpful for you. And boy, I love this brush. This brush is just like a pillow, soft. Does a great job. It is a vintage brush. I don't know how old it is. I'm assuming at least 50 years old, probably older. But man, it's just a great, great brush. And this, my friends, is a true traditional Badger. It doesn't have any of the gel tips or the newfangled stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because there surely is not. If you love things, that's the main thing. Just enjoy it, you know. And I try to, on my channel, give you information as I learn it. And I think on my last video, there was a little bit of confusion because folks went to the Stallions video and said, like, you two are giving conflicting information. And we're really not. We're just emphasizing different parts of information. And the point that I was making in my video was stretching properly is key. Meaning that in certain areas of your face, you can create hollows or maybe retract the beard, and that does happen. I even showed you how you create a hollow. But also, it's on the same note, or on the other hand, I should say, the Stallion is very correct when he says most new folks don't stretch enough, and I would agree with that. So there's not really so much a difference of opinion as he's saying let's not complicate it. Wow, what a nice edge. Woo-wee. Smooth as silk. And I'm saying, I'm just passing on the things that I've learned from other people. And some folks, including the Stallion, helped me greatly early on in stretching and how to stretch. Not only just about pulling areas of your face, but how to stretch in particular areas. And I'm not always the greatest at it. To be honest with you. But what I'm saying is there's lots of different ways to stretch. You can pull like this. You can puff your cheeks out. You can make faces. You can lift your head. You can tilt your head. So there's lots of different ways to hit that mark and flatten that surface, which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to flatten the surface both so we can cut the hair effectively, but we're also trying to keep skin from bunching up and cutting it. So that's why we're stretching. It's not stretching just for the sake of stretching. It's stretching for purpose. And the way that you stretch is important depending on where you are. And right now, for example, I'm pulling down just a little bit. And so in that video, I actually gave a couple of examples and showed you some areas. Oh, I didn't stretch right here. You know, I'm not putting myself out there as an expert on straight razor shaving, because I'm certainly not. I'm just sharing with you what people who are experts have shared with me. And so it's not, I'm not trying to disagree with the stallion, because he's helped me a ton. And we're not disagreeing, because he's right. Now, right now, what I'm doing, by the way, inflating my cheeks just a little bit, cheeks. That's also stretching. It's not just pulling, tilting my head, inflating my cheeks a little bit there. And again, there are many ways that you can stretch. This is a magnificent edge, by the way. Michael Shults, very smooth, very sharp, very nice. And so this is a guy, when it comes to hunting, I need to get on the phone with and learn from. And folks, I spend a lot of time watching videos. And in all honesty, excuse me, I probably watch as many videos as anyone else. See right there was an opportunity for stretching that I didn't take, and I should have. So the stallion's absolutely right. A lot of new folks don't stretch enough. But I'm pointing these things out to you to help, not to say, he's wrong, I'm right, do it my way. Because my way, I mentioned in the video the other day, I'm an adolescent. I'm no longer a toddler when it comes to straight razor shaving. I'm an adolescent. I'm still early on in my development. But what I'm trying to do is discuss with you things that have been taught to me. And some people have gone as far as taking parts of my video and showing me, here you're creating a hollow, here you're doing this, here you're doing that. But what I'm doing is sharing that knowledge with you, because knowledge is to be shared, it's not to be kept and hoarded. Now, on the same token, I agree with the stallion in that we don't want to overcomplicate things and make it seem like it's rocket science, because it's not. But each face is different. And by the way, this soap, very nice. Slick, no surprise there. Pleasant, slick. But anyway, this is not rocket science. But if you pay attention, you will learn things along the way. And it's just not a matter of doing it, because we can, just to say only to stretch, I think it's a good rule of thumb to say stretch, but how do you stretch? Well, you know, and there's really no way that probably fits everybody. So you're going to have to puff your cheeks, maybe raise your head, tilt, many, many different ways. And that doesn't make it, we're not overcomplicating by saying that. We're just saying, here's some other ways to do it. Here's some things to be aware of. And then use that information to get the best result you can get. It's not saying, I'm saying that people are stretching too much. I'm saying in some areas of your face, if you create a hollow, the razor can't cut all that area because there's a hollow. It's common sense. It's, you know, again, it's not overcomplicating. It's just pointing out little nuances and things to consider. And right now, you can't see, I'm pulling down just a little bit. And I'm also raising my head. And that's stretching. What an edge. And by the way, some folks pointed out in the last video that I had some redness. I'll always get redness on my neck area during the shave. That will subside shortly after the shave. By the time I put my witch hazel on, after shave, I get all dried off and I leave the restroom, that's all gone. So it's not any lasting irritation. Just wanted to clear that up. But again, please understand, folks, I'm just sharing information. I'm not trying to contradict anyone else, because the stallion is right. New people, including myself, don't stretch enough. But two things can be right at the same time. You can not stretch enough. You can also overstretch. Now, one of the things that I need to improve on, and I mentioned this in my last video, is moving the stretching point. So if I'm holding here, see, first of all, see that hollow it creates right there. It's not all that effective for shaving that area. It'd be more effective to move that stretch point and figure out where it doesn't create that hollow. Or I could just simply go back to that area. And one of the things I need to do is learn to move my stretching point to the most advantageous area. Like right there, you know, put your finger in a position that stretches the area you're trying to shave versus just stretching generically. That's the point I'm trying to hammer home, and I hope that makes sense to you. And I have all the respect in the world for Stallion and all the guys that I'm learning from, and I'm just sharing from many, many different people, not just one, what I'm being taught. And keeping in mind that, as I said in my last video, I've only done over the last year, 100 and, if you count the shavette shaves, I don't know, maybe 160 some, open blade type shaves. So I'm not putting myself out there as the end all be all, but I am learning from people with tremendous expertise, including the Stallion. So I'm just sharing it, that's all. So please listen when, because I'm very careful to point out that I'm not the end all be all. I hope you'll watch the whole video and listen to it all and take the information in context rather than cherry picking little parts and then going to the Stallion's channel and going, wow, he's saying something different. And I understand you're trying to seek clarification when you do that. I know you're not trying to create a rift, but just know that I have respect for the Stallion. He's helped me tremendously. But I'm also learning from people all over the world. And you can watch, I'll bring up other guys like Maddie Lindholm, Dave Card, Frank Stromberg, Doug Bear, and you'll find that they have different ways of doing things. And you can sort of borrow from all of these people and use this knowledge to be more effective in your shaving. And it's not rocket science, but it does require a little thought. And so what I'm trying to do is open your eyes a little bit and go, consider this, consider that. And I hope that makes sense to you, because you certainly don't want to be perceived as saying the Stallion is wrong, because that's just not based in reality. So I hope that makes sense. I'm just sort of sharing my learning as I'm going, and I'm hoping that it will help some people, while at the same time, I completely agree with the Stallion in that we don't want to make this, overly complicated. But I don't think simply asking people to consider where you put your finger or how you stretch, I don't think that's overcomplicating. I think that's just saying, go in a mirror and sort of watch what you're doing and see what the result is. That's not overcomplicating, in my view. Wow, what a soap this is, by the way. This is very good. And honestly, everything Cold River has ever made that I have used has been very good. It is a good quality soap. And I know we've got hung up today on the sort of discussion about stretching, but I wanted to clear that up because it's very important to me not to be perceived as being disrespectful or trying to sort of undermine someone else who has far more experience than I do. So, thank you very much for listening and considering my point of view on that. I really appreciate that. And I hope you will, I always say, don't just watch and listen to me. Go take in a lot of different sources and then ultimately try things and then decide for yourself. It's really about what works best for you. And what happens here on my face might be dramatically different from yours in terms of stretching or even the type of edge you prefer. Like this razor here is laser sharp. The Stallion would not like this. He prefers a different type of edge. And all that is okay. Like he can love that And I can love this. And you should also do the same. Like, pick those things that work best for you. So on this pass, what I'm doing is trying to inflate my cheeks a little bit. And I'm just trying to, I'm tilting my head for one, that's stretching. And I'm inflating my cheeks. And that's sort of the stretch that I do on that area. Some people will follow their stretch with their offhand. And so again, just trying to show you, this is just, I'm not saying my way is the greatest way, because it's likely not, but it works for me, and I hope it's helpful to you. And I'll tell you one thing that's helpful is this edge, which is friggin' magnificent. This, if I'm being honest here, and that's the only way I know to do things, might be the best edge I've ever tried. It is so smooth. It feels almost like a shavette. It feels like a Weck with Kismet. It's just cutting effortlessly. And man, I got to learn from this Mike Shults. This is phenomenal. And so here I'm trying to get that space just between the ear, or right in front of the ear, I should say. Again, tilting the head a little bit. Trying to inflate my cheeks there a little bit. And all I'm trying to do is get that relatively flat. And that's what works well for me in that situation. I encourage you to experiment with the stretching. And I also encourage you to just simply watch other people. Please go watch Dave Card, watch Maddie Lindholm, watch The Stallion, watch Frank Strongberg, watch these guys who are very, very experienced. And take little bits and pieces of information and technique from those guys and apply it to your own shaves. Wow, magnificent edge, just absolute first rate. I'm telling you what, I have got to unlock the secrets that Mike is using on these blades. Just phenomenal. My mind is right now, because this is, you know, it's a very inexpensive gold dollar, but when you get the edge on it, it just feels so great. All right, let me rinse. We'll come back, get into the post. Stay tuned. All right, and we are back with the Magic Made by Witches, and I'm going to tell you that edge was phenomenal. The soap was phenomenal. That was a terrific, terrific shave. No nicks, cuts, creepers, weepers, bubbles, troubles, irritation, just absolutely phenomenal. I loved it. This is probably the best edge I've ever tried right here. Mike Shults, wow, fantastic. The soap today, which I didn't talk a lot about, Schapenmelk, very good quality. Cold River Soap Works, check them out. They make some terrific soaps. They don't get the attention they deserve. Off cam, we used the alum, almost no stinging. And of course, this was Thayer's Witch Hazel Cucumber. We had our ever-ready R40 Badger, fantastic. And we're gonna finish it out today with just a little Brut, which I've decanted into a hot sauce bottle. Links for products that are available below. And again, folks, please understand, I'm just sharing what I'm learning. I'm not trying to overcomplicate. I'm not trying to disrespect anyone. I respect all the folks who I'm learning from. And I appreciate all of you. Every single person that's offered me tips, tricks, and help. I really appreciate you. And I'm just repaying by sharing what I'm learning. I thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you'll be back here tomorrow, because you know I will, God willing. Till next time, I've been your host, CDB, reminding you, it's your shave, do it your way. And as always, God bless.